Assalamualaikum dear students, hope you are fine by the grace of Almighty Allah. Welcome to NIEVS Home School. I am Sabrina Hawk, assistant teacher of science, National Retail English Version School Day Shift. Dear students, today I am going to take a chemistry class for class 9 student on the based on chapter 5, and this is the second part of our chapter, and the name of the chapter is chemical bond. Today we will start from lesson 5.8, chemical bond and the causes of their formation. Two hydrogen atoms usually bond together into hydrogen molecule. Similarly, atom of hydrogen and chlorine bond with each other to constitute hydrogen chloride molecule, and in hydrogen molecule a kind of attraction force is effective among the two hydrogen atom. In the hydrogen chloride also there is an attraction force working among hydrogen and chlorine atom. Basically this kind of attraction force is chemical bond, meaning the attraction force that forces the atom to stay together is called chemical bond. Dear student, this is the definition of chemical bond. This raises two questions. Why didn't the atom stay separate and why did they bond together to create the molecule? We have already learned that all elements tends to form the stable electronic configuration of inert gas at their outermost energy level. When two atoms of the same elements or different elements stay close to each other, they donate, accept or share electron in order to assume the electronic configuration of the nearest inert gas. Thus, they create the chemical bond among themselves. Therefore, it can be said that the reason of chemical bond is to tendency of the atom to assume stability of electronic configuration at their outermost energy level. This is the reason of chemical bond. Now come to the cation and anion. We have learned already in our previous class what is cation and anion. At normal situation, the number of positive charged proton in the nucleus of an atom is complemented by the same number of negative charged electron outside its nucleus. As a result, the atom becomes charge neutral. If one or more electron from the outer energy level is removed, such a charged neutral atom, its neutrality will no longer exist. Then it will turn into an ion with positive charge. Such ion with positive charge is called cation. That means the positive charge ion is called cation. Usually the elements or metals at the left side of the periodic table donate one or more electrons from their outermost energy level and gain the electronic configuration of inert gas and become cation. That means always the metal give up the electrons and become cation. Sometimes the submetals also. For example, lithium atom donate one electron from its outermost energy level in order to get the configuration like helium, because helium is inert gas. To get the stable phase like helium, lithium give the one electron of its outermost energy level and become lithium cation. The figure that means come to this, that lithium give up one electron, this outermost electron, and it becomes the lithium cation and it get the stable phase like helium and it get the positive charge, and that's why we are saying this is lithium cation and it give up one electron. Similarly, sodium atom donate an electron from its outermost energy level in order to get the configuration like neon gas and produces sodium cation and this is the figure of sodium cation. Sodium has 11 electron and the outermost energy level has only one electron. That electron sodium donate and sodium become sodium ion, that means sodium cation, and it give up one electron and it get the electronic configuration like neon. Can you tell why do the metals donate electrons to produce cation? We know in any period of the periodic table, elements gradually lose their metallic property as we progress from left to right. Simultaneously, the non-metallic property increases in them. In this case, it means the element on the left side of a period are metals and right side are non-metal. Again, more rightwards we progress in a period, the size of the atom also decreases. This is the reason why metals is larger than other element. The outermost energy level of the metal usually contains 1, 2 or 3 electrons. Due to the bigger size of the metals, the outermost energy level are comparatively far from the nucleus, which implies weaker attraction force towards nucleus or weaker bond, and as a result ionization energy is far lower, and as a result a bit of force is applied. This metal donates one or more electron from their outermost energy level and turns into cation. And on the other hand, the non-metal do not create cation. They are there at the right side of any period. They usually have 5, 6 or 7 electrons at their outermost energy level. Being smaller than the metal in size, the outermost energy level of these elements stay comparatively closer to the nucleus and undergo stronger attractive force, and that means the ionization energy is also stronger. It requires stronger force to remove one or more electron from such element which is not there in a normal chemical reaction. That is why the non-metal do not create cation. So, what kind of change occurs in the outermost energy level of the non-metal? Since the outermost energy level usually lacks 1, 2 or 3 electrons to become octet, they easily accept them from the elements and assume the electronic configuration of their nearest inert gas. And in other words, their electron affinity is high. This acceptance of electrons from the other element increase the number of electrons than protons, and in them the negative charge in them as well. Thus, in general, the atom of non-metal are negative charge. This negative charge non-metal atom are known as cation. That means non-metal turns into cation by accepting the electron. For example, chlorine atom accept one electron to reach the electronic configuration of argon and thus produce chlorine anion. Look, this is the chlorine atom's electronic configuration. In the outermost energy level, chlorine has 7 electrons. It need only 1 electron to get the electronic configuration like argon, and when it take 1 electron, it get the stable phase and it makes the stable chlorine anion and its electronic configuration become like argon. Now come to the ionic bond, and just now we have learned about cation and anion, and in our previous class we also learned in between cation and anion there is an attractive force. Now we will learn about this attractive force. That means ionic bond or electrovalent bond. We have already learned that metal having lower ionization energy easily give away electron from their outermost energy level and turns into positive charge cation. On the other hand, the non-metal having higher ionization energy easily receive electrons into their outermost energy level and turns into negative charge anion. And electrostatic force remains effective on this opposite charge cation and anion. These electrostatics or Coulomb force keep them together. The attraction force by which cation and anion from exchanging electrons are held within the atom of a compound is called ionic bond. For example, sodium atom donates 1 electron from its outermost energy level and from sodium cation with 4 electrons at the outermost energy level, and on the other hand with 8 electron, it will be 8. On the other hand, chlorine atom receive 1 electron donated by sodium and it in outermost energy level and form chlorine anion, and with its 4 electrons at the outermost energy level, it will also 8. It's printing mistake. And these two naturally opposite charges are attract towards each other in a bond of electrostatic force, and this attraction force is ionic bond. In other words, in the chemical bonding between a metal and non-metal, the bond that is enforced when the element turns into positive and negative charge is called ionic bond. The compound that has ionic bond is called ionic compound. Look, always metal give up the electron and non-metal takes that electron, and there they form the opposite charge ion. Metal makes cation and non-metal makes anion, and between this opposite charge ion there is a attractive force created, and for this attractive force they make a compound, that is they make a bond, that bond is known as ionic bond. And for this ionic bond which compound is made, like sodium chloride, it is known as ionic compound, and this attraction force is so high, that's why we have to put more heat or pressure to break this ionic bond, and always metal and non-metal from the ionic bond. In magnesium oxide molecule, magnesium donates 2 electrons to get electronic configuration of neon and become magnesium ion with 8 electrons, and the oxygen atom accept those 2 electrons and get the electronic configuration of neon and become oxygen anion and with 8 electrons. Now magnesium and oxygen come closer to form an ionic bond. Now sodium hydride molecule, sodium atom donate an electron to get ionic configuration of inert gas, become sodium cation and with 8 electrons, and the hydrogen take that electron and there is a ionic hydrogen get the electronic configuration like the helium, and it get the 2 electron, and there will be a ionic bond create, and they made a ionic compound. And in calcium oxide molecule, calcium atom donates 2 electrons to get electronic configuration of an inert gas, become calcium cation, and oxygen accept those electrons to get the electronic configuration of inert gas and become oxygen anion with 8 electrons, and thus they produce a ionic bond and they make a ionic compound of calcium oxide. Notable, the metals belonging the group 1 and 2 and non-metals of group 16 and 17 of the periodic table usually commits themselves to ionic bond. This line is too much important. Each rule has some exception. Here in this case aluminium of group 13 commits itself to ionic bond. Other elements do not show this tendency to donate or accept electron as they have too many electrons at their outermost energy level. As ionic bond takes place through electrostatic force, so it is very strong. Now we will discuss about covalent bond. Just we have learned in the ionic bond, that means metal and non-metal, metal gives up 1, 2 or 3 electrons, and non-metal takes these electrons, and there the attraction force created and they form a compound with the help of ionic bond, and that bond is so much strong. But if there is 2 non-metal, they will not make any bond, there will be no make any bond. Non-metal can't give up any electron or but it can takes electron. Now come to next type of bonds. Non-metals makes covalent bonds. Then a metal and non-metal commit to ionic bond in order to form compound that cannot be possible in the case of the reaction where both the elements are non-metal, because non-metal can only accept the electron, they can't donate the electron. So how do they come together? Yes, two non-metal atom can combine into a molecule too. If you think about water, the hydrogen and oxygen both are non-metal, but they make the compound. How it is possible? Like when two chlorine atoms are kept close, they bond chemically together into a chlorine molecule. But how it is possible for each of them has 7 electrons at their outermost energy level? The electronic configuration of chlorine is, chlorine has 17 electron, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. That means from here one electron the chlorine will share with another chlorine's 1 electrons. That's why they can make one bond. Since 7 electrons at its outermost energy level, chlorine will tend to receive electron instead of donating. But in the absence of donator atoms, the receiving will not be happened also. Therefore, when two chlorine atoms come closer, one electron from the outermost energy level of each comes together as a pair, and the pair of electrons positions itself in between two molecules of two atoms. It is known as electron sharing, and thus both of the atoms assume the electronic configuration of inert gas and at their outermost energy level, and the result is that the two nucleus of chlorine cannot leave each other or remain in a bonding. This kind of bonding is known as covalent bond. We can also say sharing bond, and therefore, it can be said in a chemical bonding of two non-metal atoms, the atoms create a pair of electrons by sharing one each from their outermost energy level. Both of the atoms continue to share a pair together in a bond which is called covalent bond, and the compound that is enrolled with covalent bond are called covalent compound. Each covalent bonding two electrons participate. The covalent bonding donates by a line and the electrons are donated by a dot or cross mark. A chlorine molecule has two chlorine atoms and its formula is Cl2. Many nonmetals remains as molecule like hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, phosphorus, bromine, iodine, fluorine. They form the molecule with the help of covalent bond. Now we will discuss about the covalent bond of hydrogen. The electronic configuration of hydrogen is H1 and it has only one electron in its 1s1. Then when two hydrogen atoms come closer, both of them share one electron to form their outermost energy level each. That means they create a pair of electrons which makes a configuration same as the inert gas helium. It creates hydrogen-hydrogen covalent bond. Look, this is a hydrogen atom, this is another hydrogen atom, and when it shares the electrons, it gets the two electron each. That means by sharing it get the electronic configuration like helium, and this bond is known as covalent bond. Now come to the covalent bond in oxygen molecule. The electronic configuration of oxygen is, oxygen has 8 electrons, 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. It lacks 2 electrons to in its outermost energy level than that of inert gas. When the two oxygen atoms come closer, both of them share 2 electrons from their outermost energy level each. That means they create 2 pairs of electrons which makes the configuration same as the inert gas. The This created oxygen-oxygen covalent bond. That means when hydrogen share one electron, we give only one line for showing the covalent bond, and here the oxygen-oxygen they share 2 electrons, 2 and 2 4 electrons. That's why here we are giving 2 line to show the covalent bond of oxygen. Here the number of bond is 2. Hydrogen has 1 covalent bond, but oxygen has 2 covalent bond. Look, this is one oxygen atom, this is another oxygen atom. This pair and this pair, if they share with each other, they will get the electronic configuration like neon, and that's why they make a covalent bond and they share the electrons. Now come to the next page. Covalent bond is also available in the compound molecule made of more than one non-metallic element. For example, water molecule, oxygen atom share one of their electron from the outermost energy level with one electron of hydrogen atom. Thus, 2 OH, that means there is 2 OH covalent bond are created and the water molecule is structured. That means here 2 hydrogen molecule added with make the covalent bond with 1 oxygen molecule. Look, there hydrogen share with 1 electron with oxygen, 1 hydrogen, another hydrogen also share with 1 electron and with oxygen, and thus they make 2 covalent bond with hydrogen, 2 hydrogen atom. 1 oxygen atom make 2 covalent bond with 2 hydrogen atom. In the water molecule, 2 pair of 4 electron and oxygen atom did not participate in any bonding. However, it required they also can create bond, which you will learn in higher class. Now, oxygen atom is capable to participate in both ionic and covalent bonds. Sodium atom, however, is never able to participate in covalent bonding. It always participates in ionic bonding only. That means metal do not make any covalent bond, they only participate in ionic bond. Then oxygen atom can accept 2 electrons from the element in an ionic bond, and it can share 2 electrons with another element in a covalent bond. Sodium atom, on the other hand, is capable only to donate electrons to other elements in an ionic bond. Now, molecules of the elements with covalent bond, then nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, bromine, iodine, and are called the covalent molecules, and which compound are made up with covalent bond. Methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen chloride, and ammonia are called the covalent compound. Among of these, most of the molecules are gaseous, that means carbon dioxide, ammonia, oxygen, chlorine, that are gaseous form. Some of them are in liquid form, that like water, and some of them are in solid form, iodine, sulfur, that is found in solid state. When 2 covalent molecules come close, a weak attraction force remains effective among them. This force is called van der Waals attraction force. The covalent molecules remain attached with each other due to this attraction force. That is why it is easy to alienate them with a bit of force. Melting and boiling point of these molecules are also low. Again, van der Waals attraction force is hardly effective on the gaseous covalent molecules. They remain as gaseous single molecule due to this. Dear students, I have finished my today's topic. This is the basic chemistry, so you have to read and learn these all topics. So learn all the topic, read the chapter properly. Stay safe, stay good. Thank you.